The Joe Rogan Experience.
This is the other paper I wanted to tell you about. It does mention aliens. So it is a recalculation of
Am I in trouble for having
No,
this?
no. They're not classified. It says unclassified. It just hasn't been released.
Run out of this room right now.
It just recalculates how likely it is there are alien
got 'em.
civilizations in our solar system or our
How
cosmos.
likely? So it's about the Fermi paradox?
It's
The
sort of
Drake
it's the
equation
Drake
stuff.
equation. So they've done this
And
years
extended.
ago about. They tried to figure out how many planets are out there,
okay.
how many are uninhabited. This is a reworking of the calculations, and again, I can't read it. I became a
Defense
journalist.
Intelligence Reference Document, an
Yeah.
introduction to the statistical Drake equation. So this is something that they created for the Defense Department,
Yeah,
so
so-
that they could get an understanding.
Yeah, what the baseline of our information is about all those different topics I told you about, and then this one is how likely is it that we have galactic neighbors, and how close might they be?
Yeah, the key question: how far are they?
It comes to an answer. It's like 30
Yeah.
pages into that, but you're the first person outside the program
Wow.
to see it.
You
So,
better drop those.
Sure, this is okay.
Yeah,
it
it's
feels
okay.
like I'm going to get visited.
you're
That's-
all right.
Yeah. Well, how far do they think they are?
I have to dig it up for you. And again, I'm one of the reasons I become a journalist is so I don't have to do math. So
That's one of the cool things now that's happening is because of the New York Times article and really because, you had Bob on and Commander Favorite, people are talking about this in the zeitgeist. I've had more people, serious people, come forward to me in the last year of my life than ever before. And it includes soccer moms and just people that just, I
Just
want
post the documentary.
Yes, ever since the Lazar documentary, and people found out that I kept my word to Fravor and didn't tell his story. New York Times told it. I kept all that. People started to trust me with, hey, well, he can keep his mouth shut if he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
People have come forward to me in droves since the Lazar movie. And of course, it's like soccer moms and people that just say, I don't want to be known. I just want somebody to hear this because my husband would think I'm crazy. Let me just tell you what happened to me and I'm out of your life.
And what are they telling you?
I mean, Joe, it's everything you can imagine from seeing craft that are right there, right in front of them, to, abduction stories, which I don't get into because it's too crazy for me. But they're reporting sightings, encounters, all UFO stuff. That's why they call me. They don't call me for other stuff, right? But also very serious people. People that have worked or do work within our military and say, I had an encounter. There was an incursion. I know George has dealt with this for 30 years. It's just new for me that the amount of people coming forward to me and telling me their stories and giving me documents and stuff like that. I got to be careful because a lot of it's got to be bullshit.
Right.
yeah.
But a good handful of it is
A
powerful.
lot of
stuff.
it is, it's like bait to reel
To
you
discredit
in. To
us.
discredit you.
Do you think is that what you think, or do you
Yeah,
think it's just crazy people?
It's crazy people, and some of it might be more organized than that. The reach of your show, Joe, since when Bob was on there, I know what happened to Jeremy as a result of it. I get a little bit of the blowback because people are interested in the topic, but it's amazing how much of an impact it's had to kindle people's interest, not only in that story, but in others, on the general topic. By the way, this paper says, with a 75% probability, the nearest extraterrestrial civilization is located in between 1,361 and 3,979 light years from us. So there you go.
Wow. And the way they travel, that ain't shit.
No, that's
And
that's lunchtime.
And that's such the important part of it. Remember we were talking about non-reactionary propulsion systems?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, like 10 years ago, everybody's like, okay, the universe is vast. There's probably intelligent life forms out in the solar systems in the universe, but they ain't coming here.
Right.
But then you look at what Bob said and how gravity wave amplification would, and then you look at the testimony of like Commander Fravor and how those craft move. You see how the gimbal moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start thinking, well, distance doesn't matter anymore. That's just us saying, physicists, we're right. Well, hold on. Physics has changed as our understanding has changed. So now we're looking at a propulsion system where distance doesn't matter. Man, that brings us all much fucking closer together if any of this is true.
Yeah, if any of this is true, there was a lot of naysayers back in the day that were quote-unquote UFO experts that had more traditional ideas of how they traveled here, like Stanton Friedman. He had his hot potato theory that they just did it in short bursts, like very fast travel in short bursts that you could tolerate. But if they – and he didn't believe in Bob Lazar too, but I always felt like there was some weirdness there. Like UFO guys and researchers are so used to people being full of shit that everyone but them is full of shit.
That's right.
And that's what I felt like with Stanton. When Stanton would discredit Bob's education pass and all these different things, I'd be like, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think you know him. I don't think you talk to him. I don't think you get in the room. I think, like, if you just empty out all your predisposed notions of who the guy is and look at it. What if he's telling the truth? Like, what if he's telling the truth? Does that place actually exist? Area S4, yes. Does he have some weird knowledge of it? Yes. Did he really work at Los Alamos Lab? Yes. Did people who worked there remember him? Yes. Does he know how to navigate the building from the inside? Yes. Was there a fucking article in the newspaper where he built a fucking jet car and it said he was a physicist at Los Alamos Lab? Yes. These things are piling up, Stanton. I wish you were alive. Yeah. I wish you were alive because he was a really smart guy. He was also obsessed with UFOs. But again, these UFO experts all believe that everyone else is full of shit.
I had a 20-year dialogue with Stan Friedman, and I respect the hell out of him because he really plodded away and really plowed the ground on the topic in general and tried to make it respectable. But he had a blind spot about Bob. Yeah. And we had multiple face-to-face conversations and exchanged letters over the years.
Did you ever say, what if he was telling the truth?
Yeah, I have said that to him. And he can't get beyond the college degree stuff. That's the stopping point for him. And
did you bring up, like, I'm sure Bob told you the same story he told me about working at Los Alamos Lab and his education at MIT?
I did not tell him that story, but it would not have mattered because Stan didn't hear any of that stuff. All the things about how does he go out and know it's going to fly on Wednesday night and take friends out there 3 weeks in a row and then record it on video.
Right.
Doesn't want to hear that.
Why not?
Just didn't hear it.
Why not?
He'd already made up his mind.
That's not good. That's not scientific.